As we move on to the next scientific session by Dr. Narayan Nambi on integrative healthcare, I hand over the stage to him. Dr. Narayan Nambi, the stage is all yours, please. Thank you.
Chadurmukha Samarambham, Vagbhadacharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Parampara. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to arrive over here and address all of you. And probably this topic is quite a unique, because how to integrate two medical systems which has two historical background, which has totally different culture during its evolution. And what made me to come over here, maybe because of the organizers know that I have been working internationally from last 25 years. We started an Ayurvedic school for the modern medical doctors in 2002 in Milan, Italy. And we started a 4 years extensive program to teach modern medical doctor how they can learn Ayurveda. Over those much period of time, or nearly 25 years, we faced enormous challenges, both political, legal, conceptual, whatnot. But that was really an experience, an experiment for two persons, one myself, Narayan Nambi, and another director of the institute called Ayurvedic Point, one Mr. Dr. Antonio Morandi, who is a modern medical doctor, MD, PhD in neurology, who turned to become a great Ayurvedist sometime much more than me. So over these 25 years, we have been rigorously interacting each other, how we joined together two medical systems with the two different cultures and two things. So the whole presentation is the abstract of what we have done in the 25 years, and probably it may be very interesting, maybe the first time also we are showcasing this, how we should collaborate things. One of the biggest thing what we should understand is that whenever we try to collaborate between two medical systems, especially Ayurveda and modern medical system, the background is very important, because Ayurveda, like a traditional knowledge system which evolved in India, have a lot of historical, cultural and social, even many economical factors behind it. But as we all know, most of the Ayurvedic principles are not a product of a brain of a human, rather it's something taken from the nature. The nature itself from which we evolved Panchamahavada principle, from the nature itself we uncovered Tridosha principle. So if nature is everywhere, probably it should work everywhere. Hence, whatever may be the geographical terrain we are, whatever may be the areas we people live, probably we have to find an areas of collaboration with multiple perspectives. But since two different knowledge system has a different perspective, these are the challenges we face, because fundamentally modern medical science is an experimental way, whereas a traditional knowledge system is too much experiential too. There are so many experimental, but still a good number of experiential too. More than an analysis to a synthesis, from an object to a relationship, from a focus to outside to focus inside. And very importantly, a traditional knowledge system looks from function to structure or function to a shape, which the conventional medical system is just opposite. This biggest challenge, when two medical systems come together, one medical system have a viewpoint of one way, and another medical system has a viewpoint of a different perspective. How can we collaborate? Many times people will try to make an integration, which many times we strongly disagree with the word integration, because when integration happens, even in India, what modern medical does is that it tries to extract what is there good in the traditional knowledge system, whether it is in Ayurveda, Siddha, homeopathy, yoga, whatever, and try to convert to their own benefit, their own perceptions, without acknowledging, without giving any credibilities to the traditional knowledge system. which is absolutely unacceptable. So, why this is happening? Because that integration, people believe that integration means what is good. Just make like in a cell we have phagocytosis, just engulf things. This is not the things we should encourage. Rather, we have to find a better way. So how do we achieve integration without losing the identity? So if we keep on doing this the way of integration, at the end of the time, we may after 15 or 20 years, what happens is that this traditional knowledge system will be some products, nothing much more than the epistemological or ontological perception. So that is the area where we are supposed to work on. So we have to, if we want to join together two knowledge systems, so a transcultural framework need to be identified, and let us create a collaboration between two knowledge systems, essentially not just one-to-one way. Many times this is not happening. So you have to identify the similarities, enabling to effective interaction, lead to a synergetic therapeutic strategy which should be applied in all the three levels, from the Shastra level, from the Tattva level, also in the practical level. So the ability of Ayurveda is an inclusive system. The biggest advantage of Ayurveda is that it can be very, very inclusive. It's not an exclusive medical system. Whereas the conventional biomedicine, we have been teaching modern medical doctor over 25 years. So, we have been lot of interaction, strong debates. How do we collaborate together? So, analytical and technical ability of the modern medical science is wonderful. But same time, we should acknowledge the traditional knowledge system in the right way. So instead of collaboration, we would like to, instead of integration, we would like to say collaborate the medicine and science, not the pharmaceutical product. Try to collaborate the medicine and science, so that we always try to do in the last almost 25 years. So when we have multiple knowledge systems, even inside India, Ayurveda versus homeopathy, Ayurveda versus Siddha, Ayurveda versus, there are many systems. Probably we have to find a collaborative areas where we are together with epistemological, ontological, practical and clinical perspective. To function this, if we want to run with a collaboration, we need to work on three major areas. One is reformation of Ayurvedic epistemology. Second thing, very, very importantly, how to modeling of Ayurveda. And third thing is how to localize the Ayurveda. If these things happen precisely, perfectly, then Ayurveda can go together with any knowledge system. It's not only a modern medical system. There are many other medical systems like anthroposophic science in Switzerland. There are traditional medical science, traditional Chinese medicine, homeopathy. There are so many Tibetan medicine. There are so many medicine, more than 25 different medicines are there all over the world, where Ayurveda can join hands without losing its originality, without losing its epistemological value. So what is that epistemological, reforming the epistemology? What is that? So let's see. It's in a simple sense, the people may be not medical background who are sitting in front of me. So to a student, I will always say, modern medicine is based on chemistry, whereas Ayurveda is based on physics. Our Panchamahabhuta Siddhantas or the Darsanas, Sankhya, Nyaya, Vaisheshikas, etc. Nothing but explaining the nature, just like how physics does. Whereas the modern medical science is largely dependent upon molecules, so we have a lot of chemistry. So chemistry derived from physics. So physics can explain chemistry well, but chemistry cannot explain physics well, in a simple sense. So because of that, so what we can say, Ayurveda can explain modern science very well, even better than a modern medical science. But modern medical science, with the principles of modern medical science, it is almost very, very difficult. So Ayurveda can explain modern science, but modern medical science is very difficult to explain Ayurveda, even though academically we make so many parallels for our academic interest to create the curiosity. Being an Ayurvedic teacher from 23 years in academy, I do so many correlations just to increase the appetite, Rojanarte Phalashruti, just to increase the appetite of the student so that they find it is very attractive. But in reality, there are limitations. So Ayurveda can explain modern science very well. So if that is the case, how do we proceed further? That is the thing. First, what we have to do is that we have to start from modern observations. In our textbook, we have so much of informations about classical observation that we already know. We have to take the clinical, neuropathic, pathological, biochemical explanations, and that has to be broken into observatory properties. What is that observatory properties? Nothing but our gunas. So let that observations deducted back into Vimshati Guna, reduce into Ruksha, Tikshna, Guna, like that. You try to identify that based on the Guna. Once you are able to identify the Guna, then map the Guna, and from that Guna, you project its function, because from Guna, you have expressions of the karma. So maybe you are taking that dosha vitiation, for example, a neuroinflammation. Maybe you are considering Tikshna, Ushna, and Ruksha, and you convert that Guna into a karma, then you convert that into clinical observation, then you convert that into things. We have done it elaborately, that's what I'm telling you. So link between form and function. Then proceed with that, map the function, then from Guna, you try to identify the interference with the dosha. So if you have Tikshna, Ushna, Ruksha, so you have Vata, Pitta aggravation. Then consider the Agni, where Agni is increased, Srodhas level, wherever the areas you want, you try to make that in this way, so you proceed with that. And also cross-check reversely also, so that everything is correct or not based on thing. Then later on, so you broke that observations, clinical observations, into properties. These properties into gunas breakdown, then you convert into karma, then convert into dosha, convert into guna, then convert into different areas. This is how we can convert an epistemological perceptions of a given clinical condition. For example, we have some examples also. Using the traditional concept, we can predict. What's the advantage for this? The advantage is that even in the modern medicine, there are many things we can predict based on Ayurveda. We have papers also. I'm not telling just the conceptual part. I'll show you the scientific papers also. So we can predict things, what is happening in the different systems. Beyond the anatomical layers, we can go beyond. Even we can develop research hypothesis based on this understanding of COMS. That is the collaboration of medical and science. And this observation can be validated through Ayurvedic principles as well as modern principles simultaneously, because we take our own tool as a guna, they take their own tool according to the different disease conditions. So the goal is not to replace modern understanding, rather than to enrich the traditional wisdom and keeping the epistemology of Ayurveda. That is our fundamental area which we should go. The next area is the modeling. This is very, very important. You know, nowadays many of the Ayurvedic principles, Tridosha Siddhanta, Panchamahabhuta Siddhanta, Guna, the theory of opposites, that is the Guna Siddhantam, Dosha Dhatu Mala Siddhantam, we should convert this into models. Sir, what is this model? When we are studying in the schools, we studied the DNA helix. What's we seen in the lab in the school? We have a helix, double helix, we have a model. So what is the advantage in the model is that you can bypass the language limitations. Nowadays, Ayurveda is becoming very global. So we have to convert our idea into models, not in terms of words or text, because words and text has its own limitations. It can be interpreted different contexts differently. It can be entrapped maybe because of the Sanskrit or many other languages. But if you are able to convert the ideas into a model that can transcend terrain, transcend language, transcend grammar, it can exist. How can it is possible? Yes, it is possible. So to overcome the communication gaps, diverse knowledge system, what we have to do is describe and formulate and logically try to expand principles into a reality with the models. Sir, is it possible to create model? Yes, it is possible. So alive, it may be a simulative models, it may be a visualization model, it may be a manipulation model. There are so many areas where we can create beautiful models, where we are able to communicate Ayurvedic understanding without any shlokas from the text, without a textual reference, but it is a working system which is applicable to any biological system, not only even human. So enhance the individual understanding. The big advantage is that you can bypass the language, facilitate transfer of the system between individuals and allow. This is another area we should work. And the third area is the localization of Ayurveda. You know that Ayurveda has been propagated now more in the last second world traditional medicine in the Delhi program. Ministry of Ayush was declaring about more than 25 countries are already official. There are Ayush chair in more than 20 countries. What they have to do? They have to work on localization of Ayurveda. Do you think that only the same herbs will work there? Yes? No? We have worked in Europe. We've taken the herbals from Europe, especially in Italy, in the 25 years. We identified many plants parallel to our own herbs. Arjuna, we identified, Terminalia Arjuna, we identified very similar plant in Europe. We made products out of it. We given to the patient, we brought the result, we published the things. So it is possible. It's not that the plants which is available or visible in Indian terrain is only be used in Ayurveda. No. It has to be converted to any plants, any material, because based on this. So transport and apply Ayurvedic principles locally. We have made Dhanvantaran Thailam with olive oil. We have made so many experiments. If you are free, you just go to a website called Virya.com. It's an Italian company called Ayurveda Italia. You can see more than 60 products of Ayurvedic products, absolutely based on Ayurvedic principles. I'm not speaking from only theoretical, really practical. It has been officially registered in the European Union and is available all over the Europe for medication. Instead of Dashamula, there are products. Instead of Ashtajurnam, Hingu Ashtajurnam, you have products there. None of the ingredients are from the classical formula, but it works very, very similar to that of Ashtajurnam as it is. How does it happen? It happened because we have made effort to convert that localization of Ayurveda without losing original epistemological way. This will change Ayurvedic perception at all. This will change totally. The information, the knowledge what we have is enormous. Just like a Gulf country had a lot of oils under soil. Nobody knowing. When Britishers started the diesel engine, the engine started and the fuel, the petroleum fuel identified. But who encashes the petroleum thing is the Middle East country. Because they have the fossil, which is a fossil oil, they converted into thing. Similar way, India is a country where we have so much of traditional knowledge, health system knowledge, like a fossil inside. Without losing its epistemological, ontological way, if we are really able to publish, we are really able to demonstrate the capacity of it, the whole scene will be changing. We are really working on this. And there is a generalization principles also there. So, another important is tell the people what they can do with Ayurveda. This is very, very important, rather than what Ayurveda does. We try to teach Ayurveda, experience Ayurveda. There are some quick examples. Because of the shortage of time, I don't put the details, but quickly I will run the slides. But give you an example. This is really done in the cases. So just take an example of an Alzheimer's disease. You have modern neurologists on one side, that is Dr. Antonio Morandi was doing that case. Another side, I was working from this side. So where here I have Snigdha, Shlakshana, Murdu, Jala, Prithvi, Kapha aspect is there. When it in the healthy brain, and when you change that into an Alzheimer's disease, you see the Ruksha, Khara, Kadina, Laku, and Vayu Akasha, there's a Vada aggravation is happening. And try to look at the clinical symptomatology. You try to change the clinical symptomatology based on each into particular guna. Try to identify that particular guna into a structural. So reflection the loss of the structural compactness to the coherence. If you are able to identify the pathological this will change the perception of how we treat with the Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease. Because many times people will start thinking that, okay, giving some dopamine to the cases in Parkinson's disease. Many times we give something nourishment to the brain, which does it change? No. So you see what is happening in the healthy neuron. A healthy neuron is changing into and Lakhuruksha situations. You see how beautifully things are from a Lakhuruksha situation and Khararuksha symptoms. Maybe an Ayurvedic people looks very simple, but modern medical science is very, very interesting. Sukshma, Vishada, each guna has very specifically been identified, very specifically to be explained, because these will be the indicator, or I'd be choosing the right oil, right medicine, both orally, externally too. What does it mean for this guna? Because if there is a rule, Rekhu, then we'll be choosing a particular things which is a guru, like a castor oil, some context. So like that. Everything has its own value. So this is, you see, the Pichila, Mandastula, the tangling inside the dying nerve happening in the healthy area, how this is happening in the areas. The membrane lipid generation is happening continuously in the Alzheimer's disease, how Vata Prakopa is happening. Nowadays this disease is alarmingly increasing. And it's actually a 2-hour session what we do normally about how we transfer about comms. So what I want to say is that the disease is not on the neuron, but in qualitative failure of insulation and meaning the integration. The problem is happening because of the misintegration happening inside. That is because of the vata, which is not performing the right way. This is what even many of the recent studies also shows. The reduces lipid bilayer thickness regulator aggravated cytotoxin in amyloid B. There are so many papers which can justify Ayurvedic observation what we have made conceptually based on the guna. You can search in the internet, you will get enormous things. Again, alteration in the RBC membrane protein, Alzheimer's disease. So these are some of the examples by which when we think detailing, tracking from the symptoms into the guna, backing into the dosha, we could be able to assume what projections are. And later on, and this has been also been tried and even published in the European Journal of Integrative Medicines. So in patients with the moderate cognitive impairment, Vata Prakriti, the Vata Prakriti people had aggravations. That is why many times it's very difficult to treat also what is happening over a period of time. So these are some good examples. So study of biomarkers and Ayurvedic clinical phenotyping may help to discover novel prognostic. We have made a lot of work in this area. Just to give you an example that this is possible. So, the novel therapeutic insight. When we try to draw in Ayurveda, called Samprapti, different type of Samprapti, Amshamsha Kalpana, Gunavikalpam, etc., are clinically highly significant. It is not merely an intellectual activity, but at the same time, it has to be reflected, observed in the clinical perceptions in that conventional medical system, which we found very much closely to that. The goal is not just to boost memory, that's the thing, restore the connectivity and coherence. That is why most of the diseases, especially in Alzheimer's disease, they lose the real coherence and integration. That is why our treatment goes like Medirasanam. Why we are being giving a Vasti? We are giving a Alzheimer's disease a Rajayavana Vasti. How can we justify that? It is possible. It is possible to justify because not because of the spin theory that the mesoderm and rectoderm is together. So what we change in the colon, it change also in the brain. No, that's the oldest concept. But now we are able to explain how this happens with the principles of Ayurveda, both as well as from the modern perspective. So there are a lot of the advantage is that even the another big advantage what we can do with this epistemological analysis with the comms is that even we can study modern drugs. We can measure modern drugs, how this would work. Sir, are you joking? No, I'm not joking. Seriously speaking, we have made studies on modern drugs. What is the Rasaguna Vidya Vibhaga of a modern drug? We have made clinical studies that I will show you the papers. So we have made many studies how these different things are. So this is an example. I will just skip Parkinson's also because of the shortage of time. It is possible. What I want to say is that it is possible to make integration not in the way, rather with the help of comms. That is, we have to work very detailedly on 3 levels. One, is on its epistemological, ontological perceptions, evolving into the downline line. Second one is creating the models and try to relate these things based on the guna. So we can consider clinical mapping like a guna, which commonly done any Ayurvedic school. Many times in the clinical perspective we do that. But how do we translate that guna into a clinical perspective? That many times will not happen. That is the area we have to function on. If we are able to do that, then definitely we can bring wonderful result, and there can be correlations between a pathophysiological change from the modern science versus pathophysiological perception from Ayurveda, not in terms of medicine. Identifying, taking ashwagandha, which is having a dopamine effect, and comparing with the dopamine, that's really stupid things to do. That is a drug level. Let us try to understand from the pathological level, go deeper into that as deeper as possible, try to understand and correlate will be the future of integration, which I would have like to say always instead of word integration rather than collaboration. So, this COMS therapeutical strategy, what we use as a tool, basically at guna targeted, basically on functions, and it can extend to amapajanam, whatever the things what we want. From a clinical observation, then clinical expressions, pathological changes, then it go to the selection of the products from single herb, compound herb, and this also will be very much useful which formulation has to be chosen in different conditions. Furthermore, this is on Parkinson's. I will just skip because it's too much for this. This is another case, what we have done in the multiple sclerosis, again with the same concept. So this is also possible, not only for Parkinson's, it is also possible for these type of conditions too, and it works very well, both theoretical and clinical perspective. And sir, are you speaking just only theoretical thing? No. We have made rigorous activities continuously, observed in patients from last 25 years. We published many papers in European journals. One is an Apgar score, vulvodyna cases, effect of Shiropichu, even the translating Ayurvedic concept to a modern drug. That means even the modern drug can be translated into Ayurvedic understanding. We can convert that into this is a recent publication we made, Translation of Ayurvedic Concept to Modern Drug Structure and Novel Paradigm. It is published in Journal of Ayurveda and Integrative Medicine, one of the prestigious journal in India, where you can see, it is just recently published in 2 months before. You can see this paper. We tried to identify antihypertensive drugs, different calcium channel blockers, beta blockers. We classified them based on Ayurveda. We tried to understand how each drug works. We try to understand how this collaborate with the different Prakriti people, and it's been officially been published in this paper. So what I want to say is that if you want to go future for Ayurveda, don't go for integration where traditional knowledge system will be phagocytotic by modern medical doctors. Rather, let us work together with the common ideas, with the commonalities. Let us have join hand together, and so that we can go further together. We need a common framework. It is possible. Many times when we started speaking about this, people think that, no, doctor, this is only a hypothetical one. No, it's not hypothetical. We are continuously working. We have hundreds of modern medical doctors working. We work together. Every year, at least 3 to 4 papers we are publishing in different journals, both in the conceptual as well as in the clinical level. So it is possible. If India want to go further with an integration, we have to collaborate the medicine and science, not integrate. So I want to say that this is the future of Ayurveda. So if you want to travel far, let us work together. Let us have a very strong knowledge of modern science. This is very good. But without losing the originality of Ayurveda, we can have hand in hand. There are so many medical doctors really want to work with Ayurveda, and let us have hand in hand, not to be slave of any other medicine, rather hand to hand, know the commonalities, know the differences, and we can win-win situations. By these words, thank you very much. And also a special thanks to my European partner Antonio Morandi too in this occasion, because we jointly worked this work from last 25 years. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Nambi. That was a very insightful session. I would invite Dr. Tamilkanni to give some feedbacks on this thing. Yes, sir, please.
Good morning to all. First of all, I thank and congratulate Professor Alathur Narayan Nambi sir to come over from Kerala to here. Eminent professor and principal and chief physician, and is doing lots of globally international research work regarding Ayurvedic science, particularly collaborative medicine and science. Actually, it's a hourly need for Ayurvedic system and also for the Ayush system. And he's taken the research and collaboration between the science and medicine, and particularly Ayurvedic medicine. He taken for the Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and along with the neurosurgeon, I think so, Anthony, and it's he published indexed and journals regarding the Ayurvedic science integration. That is actually WHO second summit also propagating and encouraging the integration of Ayurvedic science with the modern science. Integration means we are not losing our original traditional Ayurvedic or Ayush science, and we have to adopt our Ayurvedic principles as it is. And he explained very well regarding the modern science is a static, but our Ayush, particularly Ayurveda science, is a transformative and focused. Modern science is focused outside, but our Ayurvedic science is focused inside. And modern science is a chemistry, but our Ayurvedic science is a physics. Physics can explain the chemistry, but chemistry cannot explain the physics. Actually, it's new youngsters, students and researchers, even faculties like me and deputy director like me, it's a more informative and energetic, sir. We will work for that integration. All are thinking integration is not, we are taking the modern science prescriptions, all those things. Integration without losing our principles of Ayurvedic science. Integration highly appreciable, and we should show the evidence and scientific validation of Ayush systems, particularly Ayurveda system, by integrating with the modern science, with the useful scientific tools and what modern globalization acceptance needed, hourly needed. Thank you, sir. We once again appreciate and congratulate the professor and chief physician and eminent Professor Narayan Nambi, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Tamilkanni, your inputs also, please.
Good morning, everybody. We all know very well modern medicine is based on chemistry, but there is a myth that Ayurveda is based on spiritual science. But in this dais, Dr. Narayan Nambi destroyed that myth and proved that Ayurveda is based on physics. First of all, thank you, sir, for that statement. This is an era of integration in the field of medicine. So, all over the world, in India also, the union government is giving many space and many rules and many act proposal to integrate our Ayush system of medicine like Ayurveda and Siddha with modern concepts. Not only our Ayush with modern medicine, also the modern medicine with Ayush also there is a space. You are the few among the doctors who integrate Ayurveda with modern medicine. So, Dr. Narayan Nambi is one of its kinds. So, thank you, sir. Your presentation is very nice, and I observed not only in this this topic, but you also researched to integrate Apgar score in the perspective of Ayurveda. It's a nice works also. Translating Ayurveda concept into modern drug and integration without leaving our own identity is most important. You are keeping it. Very good, sir. Thank you.
I call upon Dr. Jayarooba to felicitate our speaker, Dr. Narayanan Nambi. I also call upon Dr. Elango to join in the felicitation.
I request Dr. Sini to felicitate our chair, Dr. Ilangovan. I request Dr. Sini to felicitate Dr. Tamilkanni.
Thank you, thank you.
I request Dr. Nambi to felicitate Dr. M.K. Sini. Thank you all Thanks for the beautiful session. Before the next session, I request Brother Ashok on dais, who is a strong supporter of yoga and integrated medicine. He is a founder of First World Community. I request Dr. Maheshwaran IAS on the dais, please. We have a special guest of honor, Mr. Dharanidharan, digital guru of Tamil Nadu. He is the trending trainer and a coach for millions of young people throughout the country, and he influenced a lot of doctors to make them into the Ayushpreneurs. It's my duty to invite Brother Dharanidharan, founder Social Eagle, to the dais. I wish to document Brother Dharanidharan's insights, how AA and digital presentation can do wonders on young Ayush doctors. Please, brother.
So, a very good afternoon, everyone present here. It's a great privilege for me to stand in front of people who are making real change with people. That's the greatest privilege I have got in my recent years, and thank you, Dr. Shree Varma, for this wonderful opportunity to be part of this ecosystem as well. Like the recent days, the influence of AI is taking people to the next level. I see learning in 4 stages. The first part is learning, in understanding what we need, all those stuff. The second level is knowledge. Have we learned the right things, and have we understood that? That part comes under the knowledge. The third thing is usage of knowledge, which is called intelligence. And the fourth thing is the wisdom. So after the AI came into play in the last 3 years, there are tremendous changes. And one thing very particularly that AI is not going to replace is one of the quotient, which is the spiritual quotient. There are 4 quotients which has been replaced. 3 of the quotients are already replaced. The physical quotient is replaced. The intelligent quotient is getting replaced. The emotional quotient is getting replaced. The wisdom part cannot be replaced. The kind of wisdom that the doctors have got over these years is going to remain very unique. That part is going to stay relevant for the next 100 years. In that area, if we are going to leverage any large language model, it would be an additional supplement for your implementation. இன்னைக்கு இதில் நான் வந்து ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ்கிட்ட விளாட்டாக சொல்லுவேன், இன்னைக்கு அறிவில்லாட்டி அட்வான்டேஜ், கொஞ்சமாக அறிவு இருந்தால் அது சூப்பர் அட்வான்டேஜ் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவேன். Because the LLMs has given us the leverage to move forward in a much faster speed. So there we have got that leverage. So my humble request is, whatever we know, any framework that we have got, that has to be fed into the larger language model along with the specific brain for that specific process. If these 2 things can be integrated, AI is going to help you save a lot of time and leverage the best practices and best frameworks that you have developed and that has been served for multiple years. So my humble request, AI is not our enemy, it is our friend. So let us leverage AI and scale the impact that we do in a larger scope. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Dharani. It's our privilege to have you here on this National Arogya Expo and Ayush Conclave. You're doing wonders to the youngsters' future. I wish Ayush doctors to attend his 5 a.m. club. If you wish to learn from him, it's It's a condition. You have to wake up before 5 and you can attend his sessions. It's really worth it. Today, we, Wellness by Heartfulness, are Shree Varma. We are strong on digital presence. He is the man behind us. He trained all our doctors how to present on the digital media, how the future can make impact. He travel all over the world. He meet people. He guide everyone to make a stronger Tamil Nadu. He conduct TN Digital Summit every year. He is associated with a lot of government organization on AI and digital transformation. Thank you, brother. I request Brother Ashok and Dr. Maheshwaran to felicitate Brother Dharani. It's my honor to join with you all. I request Mr. Ashok ji to felicitate Dr. Maheshwaran IAS. His contribution and his speech on yoga is remarkable. Please.
Thank you.
I request Brother Dharan to felicitate Brother Ashok ji. This dais getting honored by Brother Ashok ji to witnessing this National Arogya Expo and Ayush Conclave. Thank you, dignitaries. Our next science sessions continue. Dr. Krishna will announce.